Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called
life.
This is your girl D.
This is Key.
It's called Life. Now, we're not lip syncing. We are not throwing our voices. So I get dark behind the scenes and do what I do.
Do what you do.
But it won't be right now because stuff is Rozlyn Paige. And how are you here?
I am good, ladies. How are you all doing?
She's got a delay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
Just so y'all. Yeah.
The audio is completely out. The audio is out.
Oh,
Yeah, but
no.
I heard you all say.
So.
Oh, it's going out on her.
I may have.
Okay, what about now?
Oh, I hear you say, what about now?
Hear us now?
I hear you say now.
Okay, it's very frustrating.
I don't hear anything.
Yes, it. Okay. Hold on. And I hate to do this. Do me a favor. Go ahead and introduce to do something behind the scenes and hold. But if you would time to give a quick introduction, it'll just take me 2.2. I'll be back on here in a second.
Okay, I heard introduction, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself, assuming that's what you said. Hello, everyone. My name is Rozlyn Paige. I'm glad to be here today with my sisters, Key and D. I met these two wonderful ladies a couple of years ago after moving to Indianapolis, and they have been pillars in my life, to say the least. I am the mother of two children. I have a 10-year-old and a newborn who's actually 10 weeks old this week, so that's very exciting. I'm a wealth management professional by trade, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. So I was actually complaining yesterday on Facebook how though I love Indianapolis, I'm not getting good food in Indianapolis. The people in Indianapolis, I don't agree with what we call good food. So that was a good conversation. So I'm really glad to be here this evening. Looking forward to having some good conversation with my sisters, and I'm glad that you all are able to tune in. And hopefully they're getting the audio and video together. We did a test run earlier today and it worked perfectly. It was perfect about an hour and a half ago. Came back and everything is different now. So yay for technology. I know that we have an interesting topic here. We were actually scheduled to have this show about 2 months ago. You guys that follow the page may remember that it was canceled because of an emergency, and that emergency was me having my baby. So we are continuing or having the show that was scheduled to be had a couple of months ago. So it's going to be really good once we get it all together. Let's see. See, we have some comments. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Yes, we are breaking up. They are breaking up bad, so they're working on it right now. And thank you. I'm really excited about my newborn. I waited 10 years to have a baby. 10. So it's been an adventure, and I'm really, really sleepy, but it's a blessing. Hi, Annette. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Hi, Curtis. I see you, my love. Thank you, Michelle. I'm happy to be back. Happy to be back. The birth was interesting, an emergency, like I said, but you know, God is good, and everything is okay now. Hey, ladies.
Okay, let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, Dee. Key isn't there, but I can hear you. Hi, cousin. I see you there. Thank you for joining.
You ready for me to join? Okay. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to different locations for whatever, because it's like for whatever reason we are having. Really, and thank you for keeping things rolling. I'm
for sure.
going to get frustrated, get flustered.
No. Frustration for what? This is life. C'est la vie. This is what happens in this thing called life. So we just got to keep it moving. Yes.
So what I'm going to do, thank you for your introduction. Yes, our little bundle was definitely the emergency.
Yes.
Forth on that. Because it was like, oh no, it's like, girl, please. That's this thing called life. That's just the way it works. And it was true.
I was like, I got a show to do. I can't be having a baby. I got a show to do.
A whole show to bring me forth. So, but yes, it has been a joy to watch her journey since she has been on. And whenever he is ready. You ready? Okay. Getting ready to add her to our string.
Okay. Hey, Key.
Yes, girl.
And
so
now
I came to a different.
Okay.
I came to a different location, so she
Awesome.
can work on her on the yeah, all of that. So I've been waiting on this show. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have been waiting. Like, you know, we have our whole True Black Girl Magic group and sisterhood or whatnot, but like we haven't even gone into discussion on in the groups on this one, because I was like, nah, we gonna wait.
Okay.
We gonna wait. So let's go, because this topic, when we saw the topic, when we saw the video, when we decided that, you know what, these are the avenues that we want to talk about, we said that we need Roz for this.
And that's exactly what you all said when you sent me the message. It was like, yo, we got something for you. I'm like, what? I was like, oh, okay.
This is all you. This is all you.
All right.
Yeah. So what?
Okay.
We can't hear you right.
She's dipping in and out. Yeah, she said, well, we're going to actually play the video.
Okay. We're going to play the video then.
Yeah, here we go.
What is the most common way that women disrespect themselves? Is it sleeping around with a bunch of men? Is it allowing our kindness to be taken for weakness? Nope. Is it dressing provocatively so that all of our breasts and our booty meat is hanging out? Nah. The most common way that women disrespect ourselves is by not being able to accept compliments. Let me say this again. The most common way that women disrespect ourselves is by not being able to accept compliments. 9 times out of 10, if you're a woman watching this video, either you've done it or you know another woman who has done it. Tell me I'm lying though. Tell me I'm lying. Look, it's like I can say, Tiffany, I really love your shoes. And you come back with, girl, these old, I need to get me some new ones. I can say, wow, Hannah, you're so intelligent. Well, not really. I study a lot. I do a lot of studying. Or I can say, Ariel, you have done such a great job raising your daughter. She is so well mannered. And then you say, girl, she bad. You can have her if you want. Well, now, how is this a form of disrespect? Well, since you asked. When someone has acknowledged an aspect of your greatness and your first inclination is to think negatively about yourself and downplay your awesomeness, you're being insulting, contemptuous, and offensive to your own self. And guess what? That's completely disrespectful. Come here. Come here. Yeah, you, the one who has trouble accepting compliments. Come close to the camera so I can tell you something. Girl, if you don't take that compliment and put it in your back pocket, if you don't take that compliment, slap it on your chest and wear it as a badge of honor, if you don't take that compliment, slap it on your back and let it give you wings. When you don't accept compliments, not only are you disrespecting yourself, but you're disrespecting me too. I know greatness when I see it. Don't try to make me out to be delusional or a liar when I point it out. So stop that disrespect today, ma'am. Even if you truly struggle with this, a lot of us do struggle with it. One of the best things that you can do for yourself is to simply respond, thank you, to each compliment that you receive, regardless of the negative way you feel about yourself. Fake it till you make it, girl. It'll make us both winners. No matter how much crap that you've been through, or no matter how much others have made it their goal to make you feel inadequate, please realize that there are amazing qualities about you that if you fully embraced, not only could you change your overall perception about yourself, but you could use these qualities to change the world around you. That's real talk.
If you like what I was talking about today and you would like more of these messages plus exclusive content that I only provide to kingdom building minded women, I would go to lessonsforladies.com. Again, it's lessons, the number 4, ladies.com, and join my tribe of amazing women.
All right. Let me have it, because I know you got it. So let me have it. Because we all know. Now, I will be one of the first to admit that I am one of those people. And I am one of those people because it's one of those, as far as like taking a compliment, I think a lot of times I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm not being humble. So, oh, I can't do this. I'm not used to doing this. So I feel like I'm not being humble or I'm not being genuine. So, a lot of times that I will admit that I tend to be that person. I won't lie. I tend to be that person. So like I said, go ahead. Let me have it.
I mean, I share that same, quality, if that's what you want to call it. Sometimes it's hard for me to see what other people see in me. As an example, my love, he constantly compliments me and he refers to me as the CEO of some company one day. And I look at him like, dude, I just go to work and do my job. Like I'm Roz. I'm just Roz. However, that does not mean that I'm disrespecting myself. I see the sister's point that that's something that women should be able to do. We should be able to accept compliments as well as give them. However, I kind of feel like she puts too much energy into whether or not her compliments to other women are received well, because it's really not that serious. You not accepting a compliment that someone is giving you does not mean that you are disrespectful to yourself. Oftentimes, you may truly not see what other people are seeing. People may gas you up and try to gas you up, to the extreme point, and it just may not be what you see, but that's not disrespectful. Some of the other topics that I think she mentioned are far more disrespectful than that. So I think that it's something that people can work on, but I think she's way off about it being the most disrespectful way a woman can disrespect herself. Yeah, no, that's not it.
Okay, so then what would you say is one of the most ways that we disrespect ourselves? One of the most common ways.
One of the most common ways. Now, there are several, because us women, you know, we are a hell of a species. I'll say that. So there are several, but when I thought about the topic, I think that one of the most common ways that women disrespect ourselves is giving so much to others to where we don't even care for ourselves. Giving so much of your emotion, your mental, your physical, to nurture everyone else in other situations where you aren't even nurturing yourself. You are a total mess from head to toe, okay? But you still taking back Ronnie that done stole your ATM card and robbed you blind last week. But because he said he ain't gonna do it again, you're gonna believe him that one more time. So we give so much to others, our children, our families, our relationships, our jobs. Y'all know about me and my job. Give so much to where it ends up a lot of times hurting you. I think that's one of our biggest flaws as natural nurturers. And I think it's completely disrespectful to you as a woman, because I say that it's disrespectful because you're not respecting your temple. You're not respecting your mental, your physical, or your emotional well-being. You're putting yourself on the back burner at all times. So in my opinion, that's it.
You ain't just hit home. That's you know, you ain't just hit home.
I mean,
he was already put in over 20 hours in 2 days. You didn't hit home.
Chad, listen, originally I was going to take 6 months off of work for a maternity leave. But since we're working from home, I'm like, oh, I don't have to put the baby in daycare. Let me go on back to work, get into the swing of things. And I called and told them what day I was coming back. And I've been thinking about going back, and I've been having anxiety attacks. And I'm like, I'm already thinking about it, and I'm not even there yet. But that's my fault. I allow myself to get so consumed with my profession to where mentally and emotionally I'm unstable because of how I commit to that part of my life. That's disrespectful to me and my family.
One thing I've noticed about
I see what you mean.
Yeah, she didn't come in the room with you.
She said you need to come over here.
I tell you what I'm gonna do. Can you let them know?
Okay, she's gonna go and set up a different audio.
Okay.
So yeah, I like I said, I tend to agree with you on that. Because I am guilty, and when you talk about just because we were talking about, because you were like, where is she, and I'm like, I could hear y'all's conversation, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, I got off late, so working at home even got off late, so so I'm like, okay, now I'm scrambling and trying to get myself together to come on the air, and I'm just like, God almighty. And then I'm sitting there, right, and I'm sitting there going, and I gotta go back to work, and I'm just like, and I thought about what you said, and I'm just like, you know what, it ain't gonna happen tonight.
Why? Listen.
Look, you said it ain't gonna happen tonight.
No, and it doesn't need to, because you know why? The work is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Okay, the work is gonna be there, and guess what? If you ain't there tomorrow, they gonna post a requisition for your position within 24 hours, and they may send your family flowers. That's it. They may.
They may.
You
Like, I'm
know,
new on the
so
job, so maybe not.
exactly. So, you know, we have to set these boundaries in all aspects of our lives. And as easy as I can sit here and say it, I'm the most guilty. I mean, I'm a female Virgo. Child, listen.
That's what the one that's over there having a fit about the audio. Yeah, that one too.
Yeah. I get on my own nerves. I get
Yes.
on my own nerves. And it's just like I give so much, and I'm telling myself I'm giving so much, I'm draining myself, and I just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because, you know, that is, and that is, I think, just the nature of us. The nature of us. Because, you know, at first I was like, oh, that's you Virgo women, but no, I do it too. And my daughter does it. My daughter, she's, I will say, being younger, she's a little bit more selfish of herself and her time.
Really?
But
Okay.
that's because she's watched and she's seen. And she's just like, you gonna burn yourself out. Why you keep doing that? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, when it's you, and she's just like, and she will work. Like, this joker worked like 4 or 5, 6 days in a row where she was working doubles. And then she just decided she wasn't going to work for 4 days. And she was just like, no.
Yeah, not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I give you that. I wouldn't have taken 4 days. I'd have been like, okay, I'm gonna take a day, maybe 2. I'd have felt guilty about halfway through the second day. So I'd have been back at work.
Yeah. You talking to somebody that felt guilty for not being at work. I done had a whole baby. You know, I was on medical leave for most of I've been on leave this entire year, 2020, due to pregnancy, you know, complications. Yeah. And you talking about somebody feeling guilty. Like, I took my pregnancy test, and literally I looked at the test and I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Yeah, I'm gonna tell Curtis. Okay, October. The baby due in October. That's end of the year. Oh my God, I'm gonna leave my partner. I started thinking about work. Like, work shouldn't have even been a thought when after I took a pregnancy test. But I took a pregnancy test and started thinking about how it was gonna affect my job. Yeah, no, it's not okay. But I don't know how to change it either. I'm here to say this is my reality, but I don't know how to change it.
But that's the nature of who we are. So I know at one point in time, you and I and Dee had done, I remember you contributing to that show, and I remember you were so very vocal on that show. We talked about the myth of the Black Superwoman.
Oh, at the radio station, when we were actually in the radio station. That was so fun. Yes.
So even though we argued about the myth of the Black Superwoman, here we are.
So are we saying that, okay, so we think about that show, The Myth of the Black Superwoman. We talked about that. So being a superwoman, does that make us, is it disrespectful to ourselves? Hey, Dee.
We heard you growling.
We hear you loud and clear now, sis.
Yeah, we heard you growling.
No echoes, no delays.
No.
You good. It's okay.
It is. There's that Virgo.
Virgo.
See, I told you that.
Girl, I'd have been mad. I'd have been cursing. Y'all have heard a lot of expletives.
That's why everything was on
doors
mute.
Are closed. The door is closed.
And I'm sitting over here like I'm trying to be her piece. Like, it's okay, sis. We hear you. It's fine. It's fine. It's that thing we call life.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Truly.
But I will say that, you know, some of our shows that really touch people and that really get into something that, you know, needs to be heard, needs to be said. Those are the ones where we have the difficulties, where we have the technical difficulties. Those are the ones where we can't get it to launch everywhere it's supposed to launch. You know, those are when we have those issues. So this does not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I will say, since we were talking about how when we were over in the studio and we were talking about, excuse me, the myth of the Black Superwoman.
Superwoman.
But here we are. But here we are. Once again.
I will say though, my level of superwomanness, if that's a word I just created, my level of superwomanness has taken a decline, and I'm happy about it. I've cut a lot of people off. I've deleted a lot of phone numbers. People who I thought would be pillars of my life until the day that I die. You hear me? Gone. And I say that because if the only time you call me is when you need something, you need my business advice, you need me to review a resume, you need me to Zelle you something, Cash App you something,
we gonna sip our tea.
Baby, listen. The day after I had Charlotte, I'm sitting in the hospital, got a phone call that went like this. Ring, hello. Hey Roz, I'm getting ready to send you my resume. I'm getting ready to apply for a manager position. I need you to take a look at it. Well, I ain't gonna be able to look at it right now. I'm kind of busy. Oh, girl, what you doing? I just had my baby prematurely. You was pregnant?
How that person is your friend? Wait a minute, hold
on. Okay, now I'm gonna be honest. The first thing that popped into my head was, you are calling me for assistance, but you don't stay in contact with me enough to even know that I have carried a baby until basically her due date.
Mm-hmm. That prompted me to go back on my phone and look through communication. And every piece of communication, every text message was from me. Hey sis, how you doing? Hey sis, what's going on? Hey sis, how's the family? Hey, nothing was ever initiated from the other side. So I chose to no longer disrespect myself by being a part of a one-way love street. Because when I love my friends, I love hard. Yes. When I love you, I love you. I'm going to check on you. I'm emotionally and mentally vested in your well-being. It's very obvious that you aren't the same for me. Whatever the reason, I don't know. Tell it to God. I really don't care. But delete. Don't email me shit. Excuse me. Can we curse on this show?
You're all right. It's okay.
Don't email me nothing. You know what I mean? So I think that's an example when I think about our Superwoman conversation. You know, we want to give to everybody except ourselves. And I take my energy back, honey. I take my energy back. If I don't hear from you ever, now I'm not saying people supposed to call people. We all got busy lives. We living through COVID. We got kids. We got deaths. We got this. We got that. But if I look through my text messages and it's been 2 years of me checking on you every time first, your number has been deleted. Period.
Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this real quick because I definitely want to get our Facebook comments in. And like I said, I'm thankful to everyone that came in initially. We have Michelle Thomas, we have Curtis Dorsey that have said hello. Michelle, I think you saw where she said congratulations. Uh-huh. Annette was, saying hello to everyone. And Annette knows how I am, and she was telling you congratulations. Michelle was saying welcome back, only to have to leave again. And then we have Miss Latoya, who was saying, hi, cousin.
Hi, cousin.
Then we had Beatrice, who was saying good afternoon to everyone. Then we have a special somebody named Rozlyn Paige saying hi, boo, looking good.
That's my mama. Hey, girl, hey.
And Miss Latoya was saying that, she was going to be in and out, but
job,
she will be there. She told you, girl, you looking good on her TV. And then the actress was also giving you congratulations.
Thank you.
And Michelle, look, as we talk about sipping tea, it's like, I think I'm going to need some tea for this show. And she said, I agree with you, Roz. I don't see that as disrespect to oneself. And then my twin, Demetra Pitts, she was speaking, saying, good evening to everyone. And see, she does not co-sign what people say too quickly. So this statement right here is like, that's for real major.
Yeah. Hey, I made it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so don't know which comment it was, but whatever it was on point. And then your cousin, Miss Latoya was saying, okay, I was right then, good. She was saying she was guilty of whatever it was that was happening at that time. Now, Annette has said, she's like, so you're saying because you give so much of yourself that you don't want to receive compliments, or that compliments are not that important to you?
At the time of me mentioning, the difference, what I felt is really disrespectful to oneself. I was not comparing, I wasn't contrasting the two, but I will say though, compliments really are not that important to me. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate them when they're extended. However, I don't look for them.
Yeah.
When I receive them, they are often, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm often taken aback. And I think that's just because, and so my manager at work, my mentor actually told me to work on this, because apparently it's something that that's evident in my professional life as well. I don't expect to receive compliments. So when I get them, it's everyone, I don't have a poker face at all. So when I receive them, everyone is like, oh, she didn't even expect that, or she doesn't agree. So I'm trying to work on receiving them, but I just live my life being the best that I can be. And I'm very critical of myself as well. So when I'm doing things, instead of me seeing how great it is, I'm like, oh God, I messed that up. This time I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that better. So half the time, if I'm receiving a compliment, I'm like, okay, that was mediocre as hell, but if you think it was great, it's great. So I don't really look for compliments.
Don't be pointing at me, Missy. Now, the next comment was from my twin, where she said, now that's the show enough truth. We've got to consider that jobs are moving from humans to technology. Don't sweat over self-care. That job description is already typed and ready to send.
Yes.
And then she said that she is a very busy woman, so she's going to tune back in whenever she can. Okay. And Michelle made the statement, no, it's not disrespectful to yourself. It's you trying to get things done no matter the cost. It's a character trait that is not aligned with our best interest at heart. And Annette made the step, I just had that experience with a few individuals. So not sure exactly.
Probably having to cut people off who call you just when they need something from you. Yep. They need your time and talent. They don't really care about how you're doing.
Yep,
probably.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about people who are not even the same location from you, who can't call you and ask you to do, can't call you, hey, how you doing, whatever and whatnot, but gonna call you out the blue, hollering about can you do this flyer for me, and then expect not to pay you? We ain't gonna talk about that.
See, we had that whole discussion because people from home, and when I say home, I'm talking Mississippi. There are a lot of the things that I do that I used to try to, just kind of on the low key offer services and, do things to help people when I saw that, things need to be done, because I was a stay-at-home wife. And once I got up here and people started getting wind and started seeing a lot of the things that I didn't know you could do that. Can you do this and so? Can you blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And, you know, me being me, every now and then I'd be like, okay, cool. But then, like you were saying, there would be times where the only time I would hear from them would be when they needed something. So I had to kind of be like, nah, boo. Nah, boo.
Nope.
And it's so funny, since I told them no that one time, I have not heard from them.
You haven't heard from them. You won't hear from them.
Yeah, and so it's unfortunately, it's like others, Miss Rose was saying, others are the ones being disrespectful by taking advantage of your kindness.
Yep.
And then we have Marcellus Lewis. He was like, "Hey,
my
sister."
little brother. Hey, brother.
And then Annette was like, "Thanks for answering and clarifying. We all look at compliments differently." And that's true. Now, honestly, I don't look for them, but I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Whenever they do come forth, you know, because sometimes, you know, you put so much into a situation or a person, you know, and it could be a relationship, it could be, you know, with, you know, family, friends, business, whatever. And like even my husband, there are times I will just randomly out of the blue just tell him, you know what, thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate you.
Lord,
and
yes.
It's not, and it's not so much as, you know, that he's doing anything differently that he would, you know, do. He gets up, he goes to work, he makes sure that we have what we need to keep a roof over our head and things of that nature. But it's like, I just want him to know, look, dude, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so, and she's right. People do, you know, and now what I want to hit on is the piece where she said, if I compliment you and you don't accept my compliment, that you are disrespecting me by not accepting my compliment for seeing the wonderful traits that you have. Now, what are you all's thoughts about that? Because I thought that was a very interesting twist when she was saying that's one thing for me to not accept compliments because of, you know, I have my own personal feelings. But when you start talking about, you know, I'm disrespecting you or you're disrespecting me because I don't respond to that compliment the way you anticipate because I see your greatness. I'm like, I understand her POV, but at the same time, I'm like,
yeah, no, are you a gaslighter? Like, really? Like, it's not that serious. If I can't receive your compliment or I don't agree with it, there is no way that that's disrespectful to you because number one, you don't know my story. So while you may be complimenting me on doing such a wonderful job with my daughter, you don't know what really go on behind closed doors. My daughter may go to military school Monday through Friday. I'm not really raising her. She may go live with my mom. So that's a compliment that I won't be able to take because I'm really not contributing to what you're seeing. You're only seeing, you know, what's on the surface. There are many reasons why someone may not be able to receive a compliment, but if a person feels that you know, they feel that strong about their compliments that they're giving, that they feel disrespected because someone can't accept it, you have, like, I don't feel that your compliment was genuine, or you that's why I say you look too much into, you give compliments for the wrong reason. You're looking for validation from acceptance from others, and that's not okay.
yeah, now I get that, and I'm with you at 100% when you are saying that. Now, Annette had answered the question when you was like, "Is that what you?" She was like, "Yes, that's what it was." And Michelle was saying now, that's where the disrespect comes in. You know, I guess where you're talking about with my example from the people down home, with the people down home. Now it's like, Twin says, I can see that if someone goes out of the way to compliment you and you don't respond with at least a thank you, it is disrespectful.
Well, she didn't say that the person didn't say thank you. That's different. She's not saying that the person doesn't thank you for the compliment. No matter whether I agree with it or not, if someone compliments me, I'm going to say thank you. You know, and I'm not that person that's like, oh, you know, my outfit is beautiful. And I'm like, oh, yeah, but I feel so fat in it. No, I'm not that person. I'm going to say thank you. But the topic is whether or not we agree with the compliment or we're able to receive it. If I'm able to receive it in my heart. So that's different. Yeah.
Now we have this other compliment that Roz, that compliment can still go to you because you at least loved your daughter enough to place her somewhere where she can get that guidance, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
And
it absolutely can.
Now, and I get that, but it's like, you know, I have this thing with, why is it that it is so difficult for us to simply accept a thank you? Is it one of those situations where we have been, you know, browbeat over the head so much with what's wrong with us as Black women?
Probably.
Until we can't say, you know, because I'm going to be honest with you, there have been so many women and I have seen their awesome and phenomenal traits, and they're like, but I just don't see it. I don't, you know, and I'm complimenting them.
Me?
It's like, I just don't see what you see.
And we have that conversation regularly.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you may not see what I see, but apparently you are exhibiting these traits in order for me to see them at all.
It's you know, in order for you to see them and other people, I again will use myself as an example. That's me. That's me. People constantly, everybody's saying the same thing about me but me.
Now, I'm going to tell you all a weakness of mine. And everybody that knows me will know I'm telling the truth. I will push a person to be their best self, will give them everything that they need to succeed. But when it comes down to applying those same concepts and precepts to my own life, I oftentimes find myself, truth moment, fearful to do what I encourage other people to do. Not because I'm afraid of not succeeding, but because I feel like I'm a better encourager and than anything else. You know, I'm a pusher. I will support you all day long. But when it comes down to me applying a lot of the same things to reach my own personal levels of success, I find myself not doing them.
Same.
And I will find other people to push because I would much rather be behind the scenes than in front.
I love being behind the scenes, cheering people on and celebrating their successes, and knowing that, you know, we had this conversation and, you know, she took it and she ran with it and look at her now. But then I would much rather be that person back in the back celebrating.
Right.
Instead of me being that person on top. And at the end of the day, if I just apply the things that I give to others, a lot of things like launching this business that I've been launching, that I went and paid to get incorporated, paid for the website, the domain, and all of this, and haven't turned the damn computer back on since I did all that. Okay, the one that's supposed to be launched before I go back to work. That one, yeah. So, but I've helped
Stop
others.
looking at me, Kenyatta.
Why is she looking at me?
Stop it, because I'm guilty of that same thing. I have the domains, I have the
Girl,
website. I
listen.
just have not done anything with it.
The fire and the passion is there, and it's like, oh,
For
when I talk about
everybody
it,
else, for
yes.
everyone else. Yeah, but we've got some more comments. Yay! Get myself off the hot
my
seat.
tea.
It's like, I think we've been conditioned not to be accepting of being great and being told we're great. We are most critical of ourselves and often don't see what others see in us. I guess it's one of those, you can't see the trees for the forest.
The forest for the trees.
The forest for the trees. Yeah. But then you got, it's like, if someone is BSing you, that's a different story. If you know the intent of their heart, however, only God knows the true heart's intent. And then she also said, sometimes we can't see our own gifts out of fear of having to fulfill what's been stated. Ooh. Ooh, head buster.
Okay.
Throat punch.
Yeah, that throat punch. Yeah, you got that one
that
right.
That got my heart palpitating just a little bit. I'm like,
Girl,
oh,
yeah. And then Curtis says, reminds me of the poem, Our Deepest Fear. Yes. 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 And in some cases, the church has conditioned us to be, quote unquote, humble without explaining what humility actually means. Come on now. Come on now. And then we've got Annette. She says, sometimes individuals know that you prefer to be behind the scenes, but they see something in you that can be developed for yourself. So then they have to pull away or pull their things from you so you can focus on your own. Go be great. Oops. Don't be throwing shade.
Oops. I know, right?
Look, in the open sunlight.
We just met, Annette.
Oops. Look,
we just
she was actually throwing off at look, she wasn't throwing off, she was giving me a direct message.
Oh,
because there were a lot of I would work with Annette on a lot of her things. She has a phenomenal, shameless plug show, Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, that airs on Wednesdays at noon Central Standard Time. So it'll be 1:00 our time. And a lot of times she would, ask me, well, Dee, do you have the time to do? I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. And I would do it. But then she would be like, okay, see, she's sitting up here doing all of this stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
And not taking care of her own business. So it was like, but if it applies to you too, go ahead and take that.
I know, if it applies, let it fly.
We'll share it. We will share it. And she said, Demetria, yeah, it was like, mind your business. She said, and I love you too, Nat. That's without question. I don't give a happy ham sandwich what anybody thinks. I love you.
You know what? I do. I do. Curtis, he brought this up, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to read part of it because it is so absolutely our deepest fear. Yeah, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? And I'm going to say that to both of you. Who are you not to be?
I'm not crying today.
I'm sitting here like, I'm going to yell at Curtis. Curtis, don't be sending my sisters on me for my show. Ain't nobody, come on, man.
Hey, look, ain't nobody got time to be crying and carrying on.
I know. I got makeup on in a white sweater, honey. I just took the tag off this white sweater. I don't got time, Curtis.
See?
Mind your business, Kurt. Go tend to my baby.
You are his businesswoman. Don't you figure that out by now?
I'm like, sit up here, God, look, it's my body tingling. I'm like, wait a minute now. This ain't supposed to be happening in my white sweater.
But no, right, in the white sweater. But no, when he said that, you know, I was just like, and I had to think about that because when I worked at a construction company and it was me and between 35 to 45 men. And so there were days where I really had to talk to myself, because if I didn't talk to myself, I was going to say stuff or I was going to be feeling some kind of way because, you know, just they want to look down at you. I ain't got time. But girl, the part that really, really just, it has struck home, like, even though he was saying, you know, our deepest fears, but the part of me the part of the poem that just really struck me when I'm listening to the two of you is, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? And then the question is actually, who are you not to be? One of the reasons I personally, and I'm just going to deviate here for a minute. One of the reasons that I personally got involved with True Black Girl Magic, one is because it's something that I very honestly, deeply, truly, to the soul of who I am, believe in, as far as, you know, just empowering, uplifting, you know, one another. But one of the things that truly caused me to be a part of it was, you know, when I went through that phase and I finally had to say to myself, who am I not to be all of those things? Who am I to judge myself lacking and to judge myself as not enough? And so if I can judge myself as not enough, who am I not to help my sisters who are also in that position, who are also in that mind frame? Who am I to not help uplift, empower, encourage, educate my sisters? And knowing that both of you are a part of this same organization with me, but to also know that you all are like, yeah, I'm going to stay back here in the hot. No, you're not. No, you're not. Now that I know that you've already got all the mechanics in place, I'm hitting you up.
Okay, let's pull these. Look, I'm about to get you out the hot seat. Let's pull these few comments. It says, I'm pulling you out the hot seat, sis. It's like, if you are spiritual,
you right across the hall.
Sometimes you are waiting to get confirmation from the Father. Now, when it's the Father speaks and you don't move, is when you're not only disrespectful, but you're also out of order. Yeah. Okay, look, twin. Don't look, you're already chopping half my neck off. Don't be opening my skull up too. Dag nabbit. It's like Michelle said, sometimes we're afraid of what people are going to say and think about us. At least that's some of my issues. Look, I think I've been guilty of that as well. And LaToya told you, leave him alone, cousin.
She always talking about leave him alone.
And Annette was talking about some crickets. Can't help but have crickets. Can't help but. Twin says, when we come to ourselves and realize we are listening to people instead of your God, it is typically when you move in boldness and things will change. People are fickle. Why even give them that much power in the equation? Yeah. Girl, look, you know what? Where's the block button? Because see, I was
gonna respond to Michelle. Oh, go ahead, sis.
I'm sorry, but the fact that she is here on this particular show, that's meant to be. Every single one of those messages.
My face open in public.
Listen, yes, you do.
And Ned said your hair is pretty. And go ahead and respond to Michelle, Roz.
No, she said that, you know, sometimes we're afraid of what people will say. And I, you know, that's one thing about me. Baby, I don't care. I don't care about what you say. So that's something I'm happy that I don't struggle with. And then I think that related to what Demetra, did I pronounce that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
when we come to ourselves and realize we're listening to people instead of your God is typically when you will move. God gonna have to tell me because I don't care what people say. You can talk about me all you want. I'll be like, oh, that's funny as hell. Bye.
No, you don't have to go, twin. You ain't gotta go. Look, but it's so funny because there are things manifesting right now that have been, sitting on the shelf for a while. And there are some things and you just coming through and just taking my whole head off my neck, it's just confirmation. It's just
So I
another
just want to
form
thank
of confirmation.
everybody who has been on the show today, who has commented, who has tuned in, who has said anything, and Roz, for your inspiration, because I wasn't the one saying it this time, sissy.
Thank you.
Yeah. And and I understand how, and a lot of it is I'm not going to say we, but I am my biggest critic. Someone else can see my work and, someone else can see my work and they'll be like, girl, that's it. But I will see it and I will always see something that's lacking.
Yep.
I will always see something that is lacking. And, and that's not to knock what others say or what have you, but my analytical mind runs too much sometimes. And I find fault a lot of times where there is none.
Yep.
And in certain cases, and I busted my own face open when I was talking to one young lady when I told her, you have to remember in this particular area of expertise, you are the expert. You are the expert. So it's like, and in this one particular area of my life where things are starting to manifest, I had, God brought those words back to my remembrance of what I told her. And this, I hear little Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte.
She's like, well, my mama.
Right. She's like, Mama, you've been gone long enough. And you're right, Annette. You're right. You have been, and it's in the works. I promise you, it's definitely in the works. And so it's a situation where, I wasn't really thinking about me when we were talking about, having this discussion. But the way that the discussion has gone, the direction that the dialogue went, sometimes, you have in your mind the direction things are going to go, when you start talking conversation, because we did hit some of the stuff that we had talked about, before, but then it was like, it just took a hard curve.
Because we didn't even talk about the second, what we was gonna bring in the second
right.
one. We didn't and I was excited about that one. Like, oh
girl,
yeah.
So maybe that's confirmation that we need to make that a show, all of it on its own.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but it's just one of those things where, this show has been one that explains why there were so many technical difficulties in the beginning, because what was needed, I needed to not be distracted with handling a lot of other stuff. I needed to be able to focus strictly on what you all were saying and what was being said. Annette said, good convo, ladies, but that's not the part I'm laughing about. This is the part I'm laughing about.
Part 2.
And if we do, so I want to interject here because I'm hearing, I'm the type of person, I don't believe in presenting a problem without a solution, right? So not necessarily saying this is a problem, but if and that we should have a part two. And D, it sounds to me like this conversation was meant for you to receive some confirmation. So part two, I would like to follow up on what you gonna do about that, boo.
And you too, Sister Soldier.
No, you was talking about you. You was talking about you. Nobody tell you to flip it back.
But you're right. You're right. And this has been very therapeutic for me. And I wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting us to have this nice little chit chat about that video but you're right. When it comes down to the follow-up and the accountability.
Accountability, yes. Yes.
That
Miss Ross, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna be on her.
Oh no. I'm gonna be on her. I live here in the same house. What you gonna do? You got a domain, you got a website, what you gonna do? What you need? Tell me what you need.
Nothing. I need to stop sleeping in the bed. Well, my baby needs to first of all go to sleep at nighttime. And I need to, if not, I need to accept the fact that I need to sleep at night with her or sleep during the day and be up at night. But I do need to get on top of it and stop worrying, stop helping others so much and helping other people's dreams come true. And if I do continue to do that, I need to start charging for consulting services. Like, at the end of the day, I consult a lot of people on a daily basis, and I need to start charging, which is part of the business, that the domain that I purchased. So I just need to see the value in myself.
Yes.
Start holding myself accountable and act on my talents instead of just talking about it, be about it.
Yeah. What you said.
Yeah.
And on that note, there's no better way, in my opinion, to wrap up. Look, part one of this topic. We will check each other's calendars, and it'll be definitely 2021 before you all get the follow-up show.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to thank everybody for your input, for your patience at the beginning of the show when I was ready to cuss, kick, scream, holler, and was just ready to pull out, the hair, just let them have the show. And
it was okay.
It was, it's one of those deals where when we have the most technical difficulties, those are the ones that tend to help the most. And today was definitely a show for D. Have a good night, Ned. And your mama said, that's right, charge for your expertise. And
absolutely.
And the last comment before we get up out of here is going to be from Demetra. Excellent show, excellent topic. Okay, here's how things can happen. #testimony. I was once a part of a congregation that had little to no discipline. In the area of music ministry, it is imperative that the participants practice, learn lyrics, attend rehearsals, etc. I created guidelines for the choir with the approval of the pastor. A few months later, a quote unquote tithe paying member complained about the rules. However, in the meantime, the choir had grown and become 75% better due to ellipses. I'm talking about eclipses. The moon it's not a moon moment. Ellipses. So due to the fact that things were put in place, written.
You want me to read the rest?
Yeah.
However, in the meantime, the choir had grown and become 75% better due to their new commitment to the task. From the pulpit, the pastor stated that I was a perfectionist, quotes. Now, for those who didn't want to follow the rules, thought that gave them free reign to do as they pleased. For those who understood the process, perceived it as a compliment. The moral of the story is do what you're gifted to do. If it's what you're meant to do, you'll prosper, no matter what others may say.
Ask y'all trying to make me cry today.
Mm.
And Michelle, it was like, what a lovely discussion. Lovely and lively discussion.
Yes.
See you in part 2.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I've basically said all that I have to say. Key, if there's anything you want to say, and then we can give Roz the last word for the show tonight.
We spend so much time taking care of others that we tend to forget how wonderfully and beautifully and phenomenally made we are as individuals. And it is full time that we stop doing that and start using and operating in our own gifts, not just for everyone else's blessings, but for our own.
And I can piggyback off of that. I completely agree. That hit me hard. And immediately I have my kids are younger than yours. And I just reminded myself, and I have a 10-year-old watching. Absolutely. I have a 10-year-old watching every move that I make, every phone call that I make. She probably listening as I'm giving and giving and giving and giving. And she see when I'm not at my best and I need to recharge, but I continue to give. And not only when I'm not giving to myself, I'm probably not giving to her the way that I need to.
Guilty.
Like, wow.
Girl,
you know what I mean? So we just need to do better as people. Like, it's okay to be a nurturer. It's okay to love others, but you got to love yourself first. You got to love yourself first. And it just has to stop. Life is short. So,
and the perfect wrap up of the night. Bless every single person on this post. Go in self-care and love. That's going to be the hashtag for the rest of this year, and we'll probably
next year.
roll over into. I might make that the theme for me for 2021. Go in self-care and love.
I agree.
And, yes, and your cousin was saying she is your mini-me.
Yeah.
And she, and she was also saying that she is your reflection.
Ooh, child.
So on that note, thank you to everyone for taking the time to join us on this thing called life. We will definitely see you next Tuesday with a real hot topic. We're going to talk about intimate allies in life and ministry. And our guest will be Lady Beverly Woodard and Lady Deborah Volland. And they are going to discuss being married to pastors.
Ooh.
So we look forward to seeing you all next week on this thing called life. Have a good one.
Good night, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.